We are back on Taking Care of Business on Koerner Radio News Talk, 1180, 1230 KGEO, 1410 KERI, 1000 KKIM in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and on the Internet 3 times a week on knookmedia.com. Our guest in studio, 3 people from the city of Tehachapi. We're going to continue talking about the plight of small cities, Greg Garrett, Susan Wiggins, and Ed Grimes.
So you guys have a website that people can go to find out more information about this?
City of Tehachapi, www.tehachapicityhall.com.
Sounds good.
Absolutely. We're very transparent, open, honest, and call me. Come by. You don't even have to set up an appointment. Just walk in the front. I'll talk to you.
No, you make me set up an appointment when I want to see you.
Well, that's you, Marty, though. Right.
Everybody wants to make you set up an appointment.
This is his first time on radio, and he's catching real quick here.
I'm kind of liking this, actually.
It's actually fun after
It's funner than a city council meeting.
Yeah, yes, it is.
Is this measure on the November 4th ballot?
It is, actually, and if I may, I'm going to read the language on the ballot.
Right ahead.
To provide funding that stays in Tehachapi and cannot be seized by the state, to be used for increased street maintenance, improved senior services, enhancing public facilities, and improving other general city services, shall an ordinance be adopted to enact a temporary 0.5% sales tax for 10 years with mandatory audits and annual community reporting.
So you say the state can't seize it. What about the county?
County of Koerner cannot seize it either.
They can't seize it?
No.
And what makes you think the state can't seize it? They can change the rules and do anything they want.
Well, that's a really good comment. The state and the federal government are really good at changing their rules and regulations to fit the mood of what's going on at that time. But currently, they could not seize it. And if they did, I think I'd get in my car and go to Sacramento.
Well, we look at redevelopment agency, what they
honestly.
did. What they did with the redevelopment agency.
Yeah, but that was their money in the first place. Mm-hmm. Divvy down to the city, where this is city money.
It wasn't their money. It was tax money.
Okay, but it was tax money the state had rather than tax money the city has.
Yeah, well, as I said earlier, I think people are fed up with all the additional taxes. Yeah. And so this is a real challenge, and I hope it goes through for your benefit, because it sounds like it's really going to be a real plus for the city of Tehachapi and for the residents, the guests, and anybody else that comes into the town.
And again, I think it's something that small cities are going to have to resort to. Like you said, 9 out of 10 have succeeded with this. And again, as much as I hate tax increases of any kind, the state and the feds are really forcing you to do this. And you made the comment during the break that this is something you really can't wait on, can you?
Well, if we sit around and wait for the federal government, the state government to take care of us, we're going to be left behind, right? Mm-hmm. We're going to dry up and blow away. And we need to have local control with local planning, local funding sources, and take care of yourself, right? Don't let Big Brother take care of you. If you think Big Brother's going to take care of you, you're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Well, wait a minute. That's not what Obama said.
Well, we're not going to be picking sides here, but I am just not in favor of government taking care of you. You need to take care of yourself and be responsible for your own actions.
Mm-hmm. And this measure will help the city do exactly that.
That's right.
Yeah, no question about it.
I think people that live in Tehachapi know best for the people that live in Tehachapi.
That's the key. That's the key. Not only Tehachapi, but all cities, counties, and states. The states need to run things on the state level, the counties on a county level, the city, and the local organizations. Common Core is another example, and I don't want to go in that direction, but that's another example. Education locally.
That's right.
Sure, as opposed to being done federally, mandated federally. One comment I want to make on this, you said the public's going to be able to ensure that there is accountability, okay, that you guys aren't going to go off the reservation with this. How is that going to be done?
Well, daily. You can look at our books. We're audited, of course, many times a year. We go through the public budgeting process. It's adopted by the City Council. And every council meeting we have our check run. It's made public. Every single document is on the City Council agenda, so you can see for yourself who we're writing checks to.
And the City Council is not going to let this money be spent willy-nilly. Anything that's over a couple of dollars, is going to require us to approve it. And we're going to make sure that what we said we're going to do is what we're going to do.
What do you expect to get on this measure over a course of 12 months? How much do you expect to come in?
About $1.2 million, current estimates with current sales tax revenues.
That's more than your current property tax.
That's right. That's right.
So this is a windfall for the city.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. And it's not something we're going to take lightly. We're not going to go throw a big party. We're going to put this money to good use right away in the form of asphalt, curbs, gutters, sidewalks, some services, some partnerships, what we do now and more of it.
Do you have anything to do with the Stallion Springs Golf Course?
We do not. They're a neighbor of ours, and we love them.
Okay. It's a great course, by the way.
We're having a conversation with Greg Garrett, Susan Wiggins, and Ed Grimes from the city of Tehachapi. Now, another comment, Susan, that you made that I thought was interesting as far as accountability, and this would apply to any small city, is that you and Ed aren't really employees. I mean, you're just people that have your own businesses or whatever, and you've run for city council. Right. Where Greg is an employee of the city, the city manager. So your accountability, or Greg's accountability to you, is because you are the city, and he happens to be its most powerful employee, but he is an employee of the city. So that's where the accountability lies.
Yes, and I wanted to add, when he was talking so much about cities and roads, we had this little old lady at our council meeting the other night. She had a nice little hat. She was short. She had a walker, and she raised her hand to speak, and we waited for her to make it to the podium. And she said, "My doctor says I have to walk, and I'm trying to, but my asphalt has turned to gravel. And when can you fix my street?" And staff promised they would go out and look and see if they could, fill some potholes and do things. But we don't have money to completely redo her street.
Sure.
So you're the city manager. Is that similar to Alan Tandy here in Bakersfield?
Same, exactly.
Okay. Because I know Alan's done a great job, and I guess you're doing a great job. How long have you been at the city of Tehachapi?
Almost 12 years. Yeah,
and you are at the mercy of the council, right?
Yeah.
We have 2 council people here.
Yeah, that's correct.
How's he doing, Ed?
I always kid Greg that, I only made one mistake when I was on the council, and that was when we hired him. But that's a joke, because let me tell you, if you don't do it right the first time, then, you can just about forget it. And we did it right the first time. We hired Greg because he knew what he was doing. He always has a plan for everything that he does, and he does it well. And, he's just been wonderful for us. I can't say enough about him, and he deserves, a great big pat on the back for making Tehachapi what it is. Look at downtown. Marty, you've seen it. Downtown has had a tremendous transformation, and it's just wonderful. And Greg has been a big part of that.
Well, this is like coming home for you, Greg, wasn't it?
Coming home. It's a homecoming, that's for sure. It was a calling, almost like a ministry. Right?
So it makes a big difference when you're going back to your roots.
Yeah, it does. You have a vested interest. I'm not passing through. I'm not somebody that is coming by just to get a job. This is my life.
And you're not looking to move to any other cities?
No, absolutely not. No, I have a beautiful wife, 3 kids, and we have a really good thing going on in Tehachapi, and lots of friends and family that just live here, and it's great.
Now, one last question, and then I think, Clay, you wanted a minute to talk about another issue. Anyways, so right now you're collecting 1% sales tax, right?
Yes.
So this would basically increase it to 1.5% in essence.
Well, there's in the city of Tehachapi, we use the Kern County rate, which is 7.5% total.
Right.
The city of Tehachapi receives 1% of that, so yes, it would increase to 1.5%.
In essence, you're increasing your sales tax revenue by 50%.
That's right. That's
okay.
Right.
And again, you really have no choice with what's going on with the state and the feds.
Well, one last comment from me. Susan made me think of something just now. When people come up to the podium at the city council meetings, and they come up to the podium, and they have a reason to come to the podium. You want to listen to them and really open your ears to what they're saying. And we had a nice lady that came to the podium about a month or so ago and said, "You know what? I'm not in favor of tax increases, but in this case, I am in favor. And let me tell you, I am proud of a community that gets up in the morning, washes their face, and combs their hair. And Tehachapi does that. We're ready for every day. We get ready for the day every single morning."
Well, again, I'm not big on tax increases, but you've got my support on this one. I think it's necessary.
This looks like a great measure for the city of Tehachapi. This looks like something that's really needed, and I'm really glad that you people are stepping up and taking this action. Other cities have done it, and I think you said earlier, Greg, that about 9 out of 10 cities have been successful. Is that correct?
That's right.
And this is more important than what I had to say anyway, so let's just finish up.
Well, we've got about a minute and a half, so you got a little time here if you want to talk.
Well, I don't need any time. I just want to support Measure F. I don't live in Tehachapi, and if it's going to help the community, I'm all for it. Not only in Tehachapi, but Bakersfield, Arvin, it doesn't matter what community. We need to be supportive of our local communities. And the people in the local communities need to step up and support these issues.
And again, the only reason, as much as you and I hate tax increases, the only way I would agree to this is under the situation we have here, where it's really in response to what the state and the feds are doing. You have really no choice because there's no consistency, and their inconsistency is affecting the way you run the city. So you've got to have some consistent funds coming in, and this is a way to do it that's really not that painful because, again, you're not looking at any, if you purchase groceries, there's no tax on it. If you buy tires, $200 in tires, there's a $1 tax. You're not looking at a lot of money, but yet it generates a lot of money for the city.
So follow the Chicago way. Vote early and vote often.
Vote early, vote once, and vote yes for Measure F. We will prove to you that we'll put it to good use.
And again, there is a lot of accountability here. And those of you that are listening in other areas, this is something you might want to look at for your small city. And I know Greg would be available to help you with that, answer any questions you might have. And again, your website and the phone number, if anybody has any questions, would be?
TehachapiCityHall.com.
And is there any phone number if anybody needs to call? Or
you can call the City of Tehachapi, 661-822-2200. I'm at extension 105. Call me anytime.
And I want to thank you guys for coming here today, for taking the time.
Thank you.
We've got a couple seconds left, and I want to, again, mention next week we have George Allen, and the following week we have Dick Morris. We will talk to you in 167 hours on Taking Care of Business on Koerner Radio News Talk 1180.